What is going on YouTube? Streamclown DC, and with him as always, the nature boy, Ric Flair. The wife's trying to get my son to sleep, being that it is a school night, little late night video, so I probably won't yell or rage too hard, but man, have I just got to say I told you so. You know, I predicted in my last video Bryan should beat Lesnar, that it wouldn't be fair to Reigns, and you'd be underestimating the amount that the so-called smart wrestling fans are invested in Bryan. Personally, I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that when Bryan was eliminated from the Rumble, you could hear the breath sucked out of the room. But the fans, that they popped for Ziggler, they popped for Ambrose. It wasn't so much a Bryan thing as it was a Reigns thing. Like, I've seen people saying things like, "Oh, last year they were chanting Reigns. This year they're like, no, we don't want Reigns." The evidence is there. It's really not that complicated. Last year they only cheered Reigns because he was the second last in the, they didn't want Batista. It had nothing to do with them wanting Reigns. Just like this year, it was the same as them chanting Reigns then as it was them chanting Rusev now. It had nothing to do with them wanting Reigns last year. They had predetermined the winner and didn't want Batista, like they had predetermined the winner and didn't want Reigns. So that's got to clear that up. I mean, come on, that's obvious. Okay. I'm not a fan of Seth Rollins. Now, before everybody gets all, yes, he had a fantastic performance at the Rumble. I was slightly entertained by Seth Rollins' performance. I know a lot of people like Seth Rollins, not to get off the topic of Reigns real quick, but I'm not a Seth Rollins guy. What's my problem with Seth Rollins? I don't hate him because he's untalented. I think he's getting a little overrated on the mic. I just personally, I don't like him. In the same way I don't, well, not in the same way I don't like a Roman Reigns or a John Cena. But, like, you know how sometimes you just don't fucking like somebody? I just don't like Seth Rollins. He is, to me, personally, a face that when you look at it, you just want to punch it. That's how I feel about Seth Rollins. When it comes down to Roman Reigns, about a week ago, everybody on the internet was saying, we don't want Bryan because Bryan versus Lesnar is not believable. And I went into my rant in my last video, which I'm not going to rehash, about it's pro wrestling, and it doesn't really have to be believable. I mean, this isn't, it's scripted. You might as well sit here and talk about, that episode of Dexter where, no, it just wasn't believable enough for me. Yeah, it's because it's scripted television. It's fake. Okay? First of all, Bryan beating Lesnar is very believable to me in the confines of, scripted television, because all Lesnar would have to do is lay down and let the referee count to 3. It's not real. I'm not going to get on a Mark rant here, but, Roman Reigns, like, everybody on the internet it's not believable, and they were clamoring, and I said in my last video, which is dated before the Rumble, it's fake hate, hypocritical hate. People don't actually hate Bryan. They just, it's really strange. Everybody, they were like, yeah, no, not Bryan, it's not believable. Well, there you go. There you go. I hope you got what you wanted. Apparently not. I mean, what the fuck do you people want? 2 weeks ago, Bryan versus Lesnar's not believable. Then Bryan gets eliminated, Reigns wins, and everybody's like, it should have been Bryan. You fucking flip-floppers, man. How the fuck is the WWE supposed to know what you want if you don't even know what you fucking want? Well, I hope you're happy, because everybody that said Bryan was too small, even though the general consensus now is Bryan should have won. I mean, I'd say there's 5% of the people out there that like the Reigns thing right now. I mean, wow, did he get booed out of the building? I hope you're happy, because I mean, Bryan's not the first guy to be held down like this. Legends like Savage were held down for being, quote, too small. Sure, Savage had a build, but he wasn't a very big guy. Mr. Perfect, there were so many people held down because they were too small. Unless you're Shawn Michaels and you'll shake your naked ass through leather chaps. Yeah! Vince really likes that shit, but, what I'm not really that, like, I didn't get that upset. I knew when the energy got sucked out of the room. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Bryan fan, but I held out hope that maybe there was going to be a surprise winner. I'm just a little disappointed, because to me, what it is it's the WWE, once again, to me, proving that my opinion doesn't matter. Cheering, going to live events, making signs, buying merchandise. At the end of the day, none of that really matters. They just told you one more time, as they've done it 100 times in the past, that hard work, dedication, and talent, being over, reaching for the so-called brass ring, that all these things, they lose out in the end to being a muscular, talentless, pretty boy. Now, hey, I'm Canadian, if you're into dudes, that's your thing, man, but just honestly, I don't see why anybody could think that Reigns is a better option over Bryan. I mean, let's look at the things that Reigns has over Bryan. Bryan is better on the mic. He works circles around him in the ring. The only thing you could say that Reigns has over Bryan, the only thing, is the so-called look. Hey, man, if you want to judge a bunch of half-naked men on their look, be my guest. That's the only thing he has over Bryan. So, in my opinion, if you like Reigns more than you like Bryan, you've got a little bit of a man crush there. You need to check yourself or wreck yourself. But that's neither here nor there. Bryan is popular because he connects with the audience on a level of being just like us, looking like the everyman, being a normal person. I think Bryan connects with the crowd because when people look at him, they go, why not me? So it wasn't so much that Bryan didn't win. It wasn't even really Reigns. Reigns is garbage, but it could have been anybody, like it was Batista last year. There's your proof. It's just them telling the fans that the everyman's not good enough, and their fans are the everyman. A lot of wrestling fans are men, women, even aspiring children that want to be wrestlers or that have dreamed of being wrestlers, see themselves in that role. And I think when you shit on Daniel Bryan, you shit on your fans, because he represents the fans. He represents... You're telling people that people like me, people like you, this is what they're saying. People like you, people like their fans, normal, hardworking, everyday people can bust their ass, become one of the best wrestlers of all time, connect with the crowd, Get over. You can do all these things, bust your fucking ass, and you're still not going to get a shot. Because this guy's, got long hair and he's kind of cute. It's a real dagger to the heart for most wrestling fans, I think personally. And I'd like to address the Roman Reigns fans that are all over the internet right now. I mean, you fucking sheep. If you like Roman Reigns, good for you. But right now, I'm addressing the ones that are. You want to be quite honest. You're the new John Cena fans. That's how I feel. I mean, defending a guy that's no good on the mic, that's no good in the ring, just for the sake of defending him, that sounds like a John Cena fan to me. I mean, and John Cena fans are flip-floppers. I mean, John Cena used to get cheered a little bit, and now, like, the energy has been sucked out of me as a wrestling fan, because the main event is going to be Reigns and Lesnar. I mean, just being honest, it's not going to be a good match. I mean, a lot of people are going to go, "Oh, look, Brock carried the match and took a few new, innovative moves according to Reigns' arsenal." Anyway, they're going to overrate the match, like they have a million times, like when Cesaro carried Cena or Punk carried Cena to a good match. I'm actually worried about that because, I mean, Lesnar is a lot of things. Lesnar's awesome. He's a monster. He's very, very talented. He's got that whole "my voice doesn't match my monster persona" thing going on the mic, but he's such a badass that when he says, "I'm going to kick your ass," even in that screeching Miley Cyrus, Justin Bieber type voice, you still feel it. But Lesnar there's always been one hole in his game. He's never been a match carrying kind of guy, and Reigns needs to be carried. If you want proof, look at his match with The Undertaker. There's nobody out there that would say Undertaker is not an exceptionally better worker compared to Roman Reigns. And, Lesnar just couldn't carry Undertaker to a good match. He's not a match carrying kind of guy. When Lesnar carries a match is the only time Lesnar has a boring match. And if you think Lesnar carrying a legend like The Undertaker was bad, was a terrible match, wait till you see Lesnar Reigns. This match, it's going to be trash. I'd also like to say, I'd like to address another thing. I heard that, like, Vince or management or somebody was saying they didn't want Bryan to be in the main event 2 years in a row. Way to cover your ass there. Oversaturation, my ass. How many years was Hogan in the main event in a row? How many times has John Cena main evented WrestleMania? Him and Rock wrestled twice in a row, back to back, just not that long ago. So you go from saying, doing the same thing would be a bad thing, and then you announce that you're thinking of Bryan Sheamus 3. So Bryan being in the same spot twice is oversaturation, but being in the third match 3 times is not oversaturation. Hashtag Vince logic. I'm probably gonna watch WrestleMania. I'm interested to see what they do, because they have nothing for Ziggler and Ambrose. But hopefully it doesn't suck too bad. I just wanted to get some things off my chest. I'll probably be making another video on Roman Reigns soon. Going to address his promo on Raw. I'm running out of time here. So I'll say, keep hopeful. Thanks for watching. Comment, subscribe. I'm always down to communicate. And peace out.